think the pivotal moment when I really thought that I was actually possibly called to religious life was I saw a movie where there was a sister in the film. It was a mystery movie about a convent, and that was the first time in my life that I actually saw a sister, dress the part. And as an artist, it was just beautiful to me. I was so impressed by the image and intrigued by the idea. So I went to the public library in my town. I'm from a really small town in Louisiana. I picked up about 5 books on religious life, or at least they had none in the title. And I read the books, but most of them, they were about sisters who really had a hard time and they left. And for me, it was neither here nor there. I felt, that doesn't really matter. I'm still interested in the idea. And so I went to youth retreats. I was about 17. And at one of the retreats, I actually met a young woman who was joining a community. And so I drilled her. I asked her a million questions about what it meant to be religious. Why would she want to do it? Could she really not, be with a guy for the rest of her life? How could she do that? So I asked her all these questions, and she was really nice. And the more I found out about being a sister, the more I saw myself being more myself and happier and stable, and being able to use my gifts as I had them, which were music and art and just talking. So I'm tossed
to sing with the voice that you've given us, to sing from our hearts, our souls, to sing from ours. And I just remember thinking, I was so not impressed with the sisters. It was the Daughters of St. Paul. And I thought, I saw this movie about nuns, and they were all wearing black, and they lived like in a monastery, and there was incense and stuff, and these nuns were in a bookstore and wearing blue. And I thought, that's weird. So I kind of was a bit, how'd you say, unreceptive. I was very not interested. But the light dawned on me the next morning. We stayed overnight, and when I woke up the Sunday morning, I was like, duh, here you are surrounded by nuns. You can ask them any possible question you want to ask them. Why don't you just kind of be nice? So I did. I opened up and I asked them questions, and they were really sweet. So that's y'all. So I met the sisters, I got to know them, and after I graduated from high school, I really started to feel seriously that this was possibly my vocation. So I asked to enter, but they actually advised me to go to college for a year. So I went to college for 1 year, and I studied fine arts. So I was an art major. I was one of those, the ones that dress funny and carry pads of paper and, drawing boards and all these equipment. So that was my 1 year of college. I did that, and I did it thinking, well, maybe I really am called to religious life, but let me see what life looks like through those eyes, through the thought that, is this everything? Do I want this? Do I want to get a job? Do I want to work? Do I want to have? So it gave me a good year of just, I think, maturing, and having to take care of myself. I mean, I was still living at my family's house, but there were a lot of things I had to take care of and mature in. After that year, I really felt that, I need to give religious life a shot. So I joined the Daughters, and I moved to Boston. And that was a total culture shock for me because I was from the South, and Boston. I just remember calling my mom and going, Mom, the green beans don't taste like anything over here. It was awful, awful. And she's like, just hang on, don't leave just because of the food. So anyway, I spent 3 years actually in between pre-postulancy and postulancy, which was what it was called at the time, because I really didn't know much about the faith. I had so much to learn. And so I learned a lot those 3 years. I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about the faith, and each year, you do a bit of an evaluation. You see, how am I? Am I ready to keep moving? And I always felt, at least I'm not ready to leave. So then I joined novitiate, which is a 2-year canonical period, and then in 1996. In 1996, I made first profession. So I did that in Boston, and my family came, and it was a beautiful experience. The sisters were all there, and I professed the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, and to live the constitutions in the charism of the founder for 1 year. And we renew our vows every year. And after a period of 6 years, I made perpetual profession. And I did that in my home parish because I really believed it would be a good way to do evangelization in my home.
So let's say you're one of those people that's wondering, could it be me that's called to serve God as a sister? And you're wondering, am I strange? Am I even normal? Is there hope for me? And all I have to say is that the Lord will not lead you where you are stuck. He always has a hope and a plan for us. So the big thing about opening yourself, to whatever it is that God is asking you to do, is to really bring it to prayer. Bring it to Him in prayer, because His heart wants what's best for you, what He made you for. He wants you to do that, to find that. So I would say really take time away from, if you're working or studying, to spend really quality, quiet time with the Lord, with the Word of God, and know that Jesus is the one that leads us. He's the way, He's the truth, He's the life. So He's going to guide us to whatever it is that we need to know. And so as you read the Word, how does it affect you? And then bring to Him also your own life. The Word, the salvation story that you're living right now, just your day-to-day life. And what are the things that draw you more, that attract you? And what are the things that kind of make you say, that's not my favorite kind of thing. That doesn't give me life. And in looking at those things, God might help you to see what it is that He's calling you to do and be. And in doing that, there might be things that are consistent with religious life, like maybe being around other people that have the same faith as you do, that have the same conviction you do, gives you more life. Maybe service gives you more life. Maybe commitment scares you, but you say, well, if God's calling me to that, I think I might be able to do it, And ultimately, just ask Him from your heart to reveal His will to you in a way that you can perceive. And He'll do that because He knows what you understand. He knows the language to speak to you. So I'll be praying for you, and the community prays every day for vocations. And that means anybody that's seeking the will of God. And believe that He will be the one to guide you, and He will be the one to bring you to fulfillment in whatever your calling is.